Hello, folks. I wanted to talk a little bit about race, class, socialism, capitalism, liberty, tyranny. What makes all those things important? What's different? What are we missing? Because we got to be missing something. I mean, our country's divided, fighting each other. For 200 plus years we were all right, and all of a sudden now we hate each other. How can that be? There's, actually an explanation for it. Most of us don't want to hear it, don't want to talk about it, but it's right there in your face. And, straight up, it's Marxism. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels put forth this idea of class warfare, the idea that capitalism was horrible, and we needed to change it because it stepped on the little man, and so we're going to put in this new system where we're going to take over production, and the workers will run the world. We'll all be even. We'll all be equal. And it's pie in the sky, but it sounds good, especially to the guy schlepping it every day, working his butt off, trying to make it, and he just doesn't seem to get ahead. And he's trying to find that reason. Why am I not getting ahead? And so somebody comes along and says, well, it's the man. It's the man that's keeping you down. This was the big thing back in the 60s. We got to stick it to the man. Some of you don't remember that, but, my generation does. Some of us did a little too many drugs back then, and we don't remember nothing. But, the purpose of all this is not to help the poor, not to make us equal, not to help the races come together. The purpose of it is to put a new set of people in power. The big lie of Marxism was that we're going to change things to where there is no power structure. Well, that's not true at all. There's going to be a power structure. It's just going to be the new bourgeoisie. This is the big thing that most people don't understand, especially young people. Their professors ain't going to teach them this crap. Even if you buy into all of their socialism crap and their communist, pie in the sky, utopian world where we're all going to be equal and everything, somebody got to run it. Who going to run it? The new bourgeoisie. All it is one set of powerful people trying to kick out another set of powerful people so that they can run your lives instead of them running your lives. Does Al Gore drive a Prius? No, sir. No, sir. He runs around in SUVs and fancy private planes. He burns the hell out of fossil fuel. Have you seen Al Gore's house in Tennessee? He burns more electricity than anybody in Tennessee. And he runs around the world and talks about how we all need to do with less electricity. There's global warming. We're all going to die. You need to stop this stuff because, oh man, we're killing the planet, the Mother Earth, the Gaia. Oh, we're horrible people for what we're doing to the planet. In the meantime, he's burning more fossil fuel than anybody on the damn planet. Does anybody call him out for that? I mean, hypocrisy ain't even the word for it. It's stupidity if you listen to a guy like that. But many do. Many do. But we got to get beyond that stuff. And the main thing is just kind of understand where it all comes from. There's two systems in the world. That's it. See, these professors and stuff, what they like to do, they like to complicate things. It makes them sound so smart. See, if I can make things sound real complicated, well, then you'll think I'm smarter than you. And that makes me feel good. And so then I can put myself above you, and I just feel so better about myself. This is all they do. They make you think that they're so much smarter than you when they're not. They're not at all. It's very simple. If you look at Marxism as an example, and go to any college campus in the United States, any one of them. I mean, even some of the better ones that I might, basically agree with their curriculum. If you go to any college campus, you will find 10, 15 different definitions of Marxism. Well, there's the Leninism, and then there's the Bolshevism, and then there's the communism, and then there's the cultural Marxism, and then there's the fractured Marxism, and this Marx, and that Marx. They go on and on and on with all of the different things, and they try to define the nuances between all. Oh, you don't understand, see, you're not as smart as me. There's a little bit of a difference between the cultural Marxists and the Leninists. Oh, well, wait a minute, the Bolsheviks were just a little bit different than the traditional the Marxists were. There ain't no difference. There ain't no difference. And let me tell you why. There are only two things in the world: liberty and tyranny. Those are the only two things in the world when it comes to political. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, liberty champions the individual. Okay? That means that you as an individual have certain rights. And we contend that those rights come from God. They don't come from man. There's no man on earth gave you those rights. Those rights are inherent the day you were born. Because God made all of us free. We have the ability of free will. We have a thinking mind, right? We have creativity. We have a conscience. We can think for ourselves. We're not like an animal. We don't just go around looking for food and then sex and then that's it. Well, some of us do. But most of us have an extra ability for creativity and abstract thought. That's what makes us different. God gave us that. God gave us that. No matter what God you call him. You call him the God of Abraham, you call him whatever the hell you want. But God gave us that. We have the ability for abstract thought, creativity, and the like. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us rise above all the other animals on the planet. So we as individuals have this right. It's been given to us by God the Creator, not by a man on this earth. It's very important that you understand that. And I don't even care if you believe in God or not. You must believe one thing. There's not a single man on this planet, not one single man on this planet that gives you anything. It's inherent. It's inherent when you were born. And why is that important? Well, because if a man gave you something, a man can take it away. If a man gave you something, a man can take it away. See, our founders said no, that's not true. This was given to us by our Creator. They did not say God. Very important you understand that. They understood that there were different religions at the time, had different thoughts, different understandings. The important thing is that those rights did not come from a man. They came from our Creator. That means that a man cannot take those rights away from you. You must understand this. Now, what does capitalism mean? Well, if it's in a free market system, basically what that means is that you own what you do. Your labor is your property. When you read in the Constitution and in the Declaration of Independence, your right to life, liberty, and property. That last one, property, you know what they really meant? They meant your labor. When you go out there and you work for a man, you get a wage for that belongs to you. It does not belong to anybody else. And the more that you labor and the more that you're willing to do, the more that you can accumulate to where you can rise above. You can start at a lower level and you can rise above into a higher class. This is the only system on the face of the earth where a person at the very bottom can rise to the very top. And that's because of this concept of the right to private property. Your labor is your private property. Well, what does socialism say? Well, socialism says no. No. That's not your property. You're part of a collective. Okay? If you're part of a collective, everything you do is just part of all of us. Your labor is no different than the guy down the street. Well, now maybe the guy down the street only worked 20 hours and you work 40. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're all equal in the eyes of the collectivists. So he gets the same thing you get. He works 20 hours, you work 40 hours. You both get the same food, same house, same car, same property, same everything. That's collectivism. This is the difference in this country today, the fight that we're having. Are we going to be a collective or are we going to be individuals? Personally, I kind of like being an individual. I mean, I'm a cantankerous old fart and it just seems natural. For you, there may be different reasons. I don't know. Maybe you want to be part of a collective. Maybe you don't want to work. Maybe you just want to mooch off of your neighbors. You know, it used to be mooching was a bad thing. We actually looked down on people who mooched back in the day. It was a bad word. Somebody called you a mooch, man. Them were fighting words. What? You calling me a mooch? Man, I'll get out there and I'll work as hard as anybody any day. That's what we used to say. What do they do now? Oh, you owe me. You owe me. I need reparation. I need this. I need that. I need, everybody's just trying to get out there and get what they can for free. And they're not even embarrassed about it anymore. They get right on TV and beg for that crap. This is where we're at today. People who are begging for somebody else's, give them stuff. Give me stuff. What kind of person does that? How do you wake up and look at yourself in the morning? This is not what America's about. It's never been about that. It should never be about that. So you got to decide amongst yourselves. Are we going to be individuals? Or are we going to be a beehive? I ain't no worker bee. Are you?